Liz Cheney this morning. She lost last night in the Wyoming Republican primary to her challenger, Harriet Hageman. Liz only got 29% of the vote, while Harriet got 66% of it. But Liz's political career might not be over. Take a look at what she said this morning on the Today Show.
I believe that Donald Trump continues to pose a very grave threat and risk to our republic. And I think that defeating him is going to require a broad and united front of Republicans, Democrats, and independents. And that's what I intend to be part of.
Are you thinking about running for president?
I'm not going to make any announcements here this morning, but it is something that I'm thinking about, and I'll make a decision in the coming months.
Well, obviously, Liz has been very vocal in her opposition to former President Trump. And now it seems Republican voters in Wyoming have decided that's not what they want, which brings up a very interesting question. Can Republicans who oppose Trump still win with voters? DBL Nation, always want to hear from you. Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I know you have a very strong point of view about this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say for everyone out there, I know Wyoming might not have thought that, but Liz Cheney represents an entire group of people that is on the same fact level as the Democrats right now. So 2 + 2 for Liz Cheney is 4, and that's the same for us. The rest think the election was stolen, and that's in a different reality. She is leading the way with patriotism to go against her own party, which was going to disown her. She knew it was going to be tough to lead the January 6th committee, and unfortunately, she didn't make it into being a congresswoman. She will be running. She will 1,000% in 2024. She will represent the Republican Party, the old conservatives that have the fiscal idea that don't want Trump to take over their party.
Yeah, she will
She's
be running for a couple weeks before she loses stunningly before we even get started. She was just humiliated in this election.
Wyoming has very few people. You can't really register on that.
She won by like a crazy amount of points last time. I believe she got 73 or 75%.
Do you think that you have to be backed by Trump if you're a Republican?
There's no discussion anymore, Sam. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I never thought we'd see this day where we just saw the Republican Party, like the Cheneys, they're gone. They don't exist anymore.
Dynasties, you mean?
Yes, theoretically. So I think this is Trump's party now. We should start talking about it like this. Tori, you're talking about 2 + 2 in our reality. No, their reality is our reality because we live in the same world that they do.
So you're just going to give up?
I was not a Republican to begin with.
No, but I mean about getting on a side where 2 political parties can have actual debates about real things.
Oh, that's over. Yeah.
Listen, I kind of disagree. And I don't know, and maybe just because it's early on in the voting and people are still sporadically voting, I think when it comes to 2024, people are going to come out in record numbers, right? But I think people, at least me, and I don't have a political party, right? I'm very much independent. I feel like people want to get away from the circus, right? They want to start talking about issues. They don't want to talk about Trump every day. What did Trump do here? What did Trump? Let's talk about what's happening. If my kids are in elementary school, right? If someone is pushing more money for elementary schools in Colorado or for the United States, that's something I want to hear. That's something I'm going to vote for. You shouldn't be shamed for you vote. You shouldn't be tied to President Trump for this. Or you shouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to stand up for my nation and vote Joe Biden. Look at the issues at hand. Vote for what you want. And even if you vote independent or you vote for a guy that's not on a ticket, you're not throwing away your vote. You went to the box. You voted for who you thought would best fit yours. You don't need to be part of this team that votes red or blue. Vote what is best for you.
I think the issue with that, and I appreciate what you're saying, I agree with a lot of it, is that for a lot of people, they are just single issue voters. You want to talk about schools. I have kids in school. Sam has a kid recently in school. Give me a knuckle bump on that. I love you for that. Love. So that's what we care about. But there's some people that care about AR-15s. We can't not talk about Trump because people are showing up at the FBI shooting nail guns at them in full body.
We're never going to not talk about Trump. Right. Okay. So if anyone's nervous out there, we will never. Yeah. Don't worry.
But even Laura Ingraham recently said, "I think it's time to turn the page."
I think it is, and I think a lot of people, even though
we're here for that,
we see it and. Okay, we can move on.
No, please, finish.
No, that's no one cares anyway.
Yes, you do.
No, it's
yes,
good.
I do.
Good. I made my point.
Let's see what our viewers actually say. 59% of you say yes. Republicans who oppose Trump still win with voters. Interesting. Okay, so speaking of elections, the NBA will not be playing any games on Election Day this year.
Cavs.
which is November 8th. It's to encourage more people to go vote in the midterms. It's not the first time the league has gotten vocal about elections. In 2020, some players wore shirts encouraging people to go out and vote. So what do you guys all think of this move? And should Election Day, we've talked about this before, Jeff, should it be a holiday?
For sure. It's not up to the NBA. It's not up to a lot of people look to the NBA, the NFL, sporting, to see what they do, right? And I like the leadership, but it's not their job. Their job is to entertain us with what they love, right? If they want to step outside that box and do whatever and get political, I'm all for it, right? We need leadership. Our leaders aren't leading, so we need to look to these outlets. It's not the NBA's job to say, hey, we're not going to play any games here because you guys should vote. As Americans, we should have that day off. Is everyone going to use it to go vote? Probably not, but we should have that opportunity to not find it difficult to get to a box and vote.
First of all, I fully agree with you. Google how many countries have the day off. It's like crazy that we don't have it. It's absurd that we don't have it. But
There's a reason why.
Why?
Because there's certain people in power that don't want certain people to come out and vote.
Oh, I agree with you completely.
Voter suppression, yes.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. But what I applaud is the NBA saying, fine, we're not going to wait. We'll do it. In 2020, they used the stadiums to be voting polls.
Yeah.
That's how you agree. That's how you have leadership, like LeBron James making a school where good lunches are paid for, because they're not doing it. The politicians ain't going to do it. They're going to do it. So look to the athletes.
I think that we're learning that the only time that you can really communicate to Americans is when they're watching their entertainment, watching their sports. So maybe if somebody, a diehard NBA fan, turns on the TV and is like, where are all the games? Oh, today's the midterms, and then they'll go out and vote. Like sometimes that's what you need because you're not going to see the flyers and the banners. So
a lot of people don't turn out to the midterms, but it's starting to change.
I agree with you.
It is.